Hi, my name is Angel. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are just going to be talking about my March reading plans. I have once again a very ambitious TBR, but that's okay. We're going to try our best. These videos are usually pretty short, so let's just go ahead and get into it. First of all, I have 2 reading vlogs planned for March. The first one is going to be my next installment in the reading different horror subgenres series that I just started. If you guys saw last month in February, I did cosmic horror. At the end of that video, I told you guys what the theme for this month was. So go and watch that if you want to find out what the theme is. But I'm going to give you guys a couple of books off of that TBR. I don't want to give away the whole thing. You could probably infer what subgenre this is going to be based off of those few books. So first of all, for that one, I will be rereading Frankenstein. I read this in high school, as I'm sure many of us have. So there's a lot of things that I don't remember from it, but there also are things that I do remember. So I'm very excited to read this one again, especially now as an adult and reading it for fun and not for an assignment. I think it'll be really, really interesting. Obviously obsessed with this edition. Thank you to my boyfriend. He got me the Dracula one too. I don't know. You guys probably can't see it because it's all the way at the top of my shelf, but really excited to try this one again. Also, for that video, I will be reading Wilder Girls by Rory Power. I'm not entirely sure what the plot of this book is, but I know that from what I've seen about it around the internet, that it definitely seems like that type of book that you either love or you either hate. So that's always fun to read because it's just interesting to see what side of the spectrum you land on. So I'm very curious to give this one a try. And then the last book that I'll tell you guys I'll be reading for that video is Books of Blood Volume 1 by Clive Barker, which is a short story collection. I'm pretty sure, I think specifically this volume has like a Hulu show or a Hulu movie now, but I'm very excited. I've never read anything from Clive Barker, surprisingly, for how much I love horror, so I'm really, really excited to finally do that. Obviously, Books of Blood is like very, very popular, so I'm really, really excited for that one. The next reading vlog I have is 8 books that I'm going to be reading for that, so quite an ambitious list of things. So let's talk about a few of those. So the first one that I have for that one is Lone Women by Victor Lavelle. This one I have seen everywhere. I don't know if I officially put this on my TBR, but I know that I want to read it. I think I have another book by this author on my TBR. He's very, very well known, and this was a really, really popular book last year, so I'm really, really excited. I don't know the plot for pretty much any of these that I'm going to be reading for this video, this vlog. But I kind of want to keep it that way. I want to go in as blind as possible. The next one for that reading vlog is Silver Nitrate by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This, I think the only thing that I've heard about it is that it has like some sort of film, like a horror film element to it. And I only know that because I have read things that have to do with like horror films or horror TV shows, and this one always gets grouped in with recommendations including those books. So I've had my eye on this one. Once again, I don't know if I ever officially added it to my TBR, but I'm really excited to read that one. And then the other one that I'll tell you guys I'm reading for that video is Our Share of Night by Mariana Enriquez. This, the only thing I know about is that it's very long. Like, she's a thick book. I think it's almost 600 pages. I think there is some sort of like grief element, if I recall correctly from watching other people read this book. So that's a big one. She's a thick one, and I'm a little bit nervous for that, but I hope I really enjoy it because I feel like any review that I've seen online for this book has been positive. People are really, really loving this one, so I'm very, very excited to try that out. There are 5 other books on that TBR. So with that being said, 8 books in a reading vlog is obviously going to make it really, really long. So I wanted to see if you guys had a preference, if you would prefer just one really long vlog where I read all 8 of those books, or if you would prefer it to be split up into like 2 parts and I could do 4 books in each part or something like that. You guys let me know. I feel like I can't tell you the reason that I'm reading these books, but I feel like the reason that I'm reading these books, it makes sense to read them all in the same video, but I know that'll make it really, really long, probably close to an hour, maybe even more than that. So you guys let me know if you want a really long one or if you just want to see it in 2 different parts. I don't know. I can do whatever you guys prefer if you have a preference. Moving away from reading vlogs now, I currently have 5 library books checked out, so obviously it would be ideal that I get to these in this month. So let's go ahead and talk about that. I did do a mini haul of these. I think I'm gonna start doing like library hauls on my Instagram stories, or maybe like make it into reels or something, because I always check out books from the library and I want to haul them and show you guys what I'm getting. So if you're not following me on Instagram, that is linked down below. We can go be friends on there. But the first one I got is this new release, Your Shadow Half Remains by Sunny Moraine. I actually don't know the plot. Riley has not seen a single human face in longer than she can reckon. No face, no eyes, not if you want to survive. But when a new neighbor moves in down the road, Riley's overwhelming need for human contact makes her throw caution to the wind. Somehow in this world where other people can mean a gruesome, bloody death, Ellis makes her feel safe. As they grow closer, Riley's grip on reality begins to slip, and she can no longer fight her deepest desires. All Riley wants to do is look. That sounds really, really interesting. Like, what is going on in this world that you can't look at another person? I don't know. And then it also sounds like there's gonna be like a romance, maybe a really strong friendship, but very, very curious. Like I said, this is a new release. It is very, very short as well. Then we have This Is How You Lose the Time War. I feel like everybody knows this book. I have not read it yet, so I'm excited to read it and hopefully love it. Then I have this one, Hole 03 by Greg Bear, which is a sci-fi book that came out, I think, quite a while ago. Oh, it says 2010. Why do I feel like it was older than that? I thought this was like a older, like a classic sci-fi. I found this on the internet because I was looking for like horror sci-fi recommendations, or like scary sci-fi. I really, really want to read more sci-fi this year, and this popped up. It sounded really interesting. I guess it's some guy that like wakes up alone. So it says, a starship hurtles through the emptiness of space, its destination unknown, its purpose a mystery. Now one man wakes up, ripped from a dream of a new home, a new planet, and the woman he was meant to love in his arms. He finds himself wet, naked, and freezing to death. The dark halls are full of monsters, but trusting other survivors he meets might be the greater danger. So, I don't know, sounds really interesting, sounds like a sci-fi horror. Also, the like beginning, like him waking up alone in this like spacecraft and he has to figure out why he's there and what the mission is, sounds very much like Project Hail Mary, which is like one of my favorite books. Then I also picked up Some Possible Solutions by Helen Phillips. This is a short story collection by Helen Phillips. I did enjoy their book, The Need, and Helen Phillips has another book coming out, I think in August of this year, that I'm really, really excited for. So I want to give this a try to just get some like sci-fi short stories. And then we also have another new release, The Bad Ones by Melissa Albert. This is a YA book, I believe, and I think it's like a dark fantasy. So I'm not entirely sure. The last YA book that I read that was dark fantasy was My Throat an Open Grave, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it, so I'm not sure how this is gonna go. This one, like, I feel like out of all the library books I have, this is one I'm least excited for, but I'll try it and we'll see if it's good or not. Okay, and then, because I don't already have enough books to read, I'm trying every month to pull books off of my physical TBR to set them out that I can pick from when I want a new book to read. I want to read down my physical TBR. So I got A Court of Frost and Starlight because I just finished the third book in the series. So I would go on to this one next, obviously. And it's a shorter one, but I'm a little bit scared to read this because then I know that the next book is the last book and it's like really long and it's like from a different POV. So I'm kind of scared, but I do have this because I do want to get to it relatively soon because I just finished the last one. Also, Lakewood by Megan Giddings. I don't know why this has been calling to me recently, and then I saw somebody post about it on Instagram and I was like, you're right, like I do really, really want to read that. It sounds very, very interesting. I don't know what it is. I think this is a book that I feel like I've seen people compare maybe to Black Mirror. Hopefully that's accurate. I don't know. Also off of my physical TBR that I want to read are The House of Last Resort by Christopher Golden. This is a brand new release. I think it just came out January 30th, if I'm correct. I read, Road of Bones by Christopher Golden and really enjoyed his writing style. This book concept sounds really interesting, so I'm very excited to read this one. And then I also have Death Valley by Melissa Broder. I really like Melissa Broder, so I really want to get to this one sooner rather than later, and it's relatively short as well, so I feel like that's definitely possible. So with all of that being said, there are a bunch of books that I am planning to read in March, like 100% going to read in March for vlogs and things, but then also a lot of other options for reading throughout the month. So let me know if you guys have read any of these books before. Let me know if they are worth the time or not. And with all of that being said, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys next time.